The epic story of Moses and the Red Sea, a great lesson in faith and arrogance. The nightmare in the desert. Dust swirled in the air. The sky burned with the golden hue of the desert sun. Thousands of Israelites trudged through the wasteland, their footsteps heavy, their breaths labored, but their eyes still held a glimmer of hope. Moses, their leader, walked ahead, his gaze fixed on the horizon. But no one realized that a nightmare was rising behind them, the sound of hooves, the clash of metal, the grinding of war chariot wheels against the dry, cracked earth. A massive cloud of dust rose from the distance, growing larger with each passing second. Pharaoh's army, ruthless warriors, their chariots gleaming with sharpened blades, was charging forward like a storm of death. Everything seemed to slow down for a moment. A young boy clutched his mother's hand, his voice trembling. "Mother, are we going to die?" The woman did not answer. Her eyes locked onto the man standing at the front, Moses. He stood firm, fearless, unwavering. But was he truly unafraid, or was he hiding a deep internal struggle? Panic spread through the crowd. A man shouted, "Were there not enough graves in Egypt that you had to bring us here to die in the desert?" Cries of despair, murmurs of doubt, and whispers of blame rippled through the masses. They had trusted Moses, left everything behind to follow him. But now, in front of them was the sea, and behind them was death. Did they have a choice? But that is exactly when miracles happen, right in the moment when you believe there is no way out. 2. When the path appears. Moses looked up to the heavens. He knew doubt had crept into the hearts of the people, but he also knew that faith was not something easily shaken. Stand firm and witness what the Lord will do for you. Those words rang out like a beacon in the darkness. Not everyone believed immediately, but at least they stopped running. They stopped panicking. They waited. And then the wind began to rise. A powerful gust roared through the desert, lifting grains of sand into the air. From the distance, a massive pillar of fire erupted, forming a barrier between the Israelites and the Egyptian army. The flames burned fiercely, consuming the sky, blocking the advance of their pursuers. Ahead, the sea stirred. The waves churned, the waters trembled. A deep rumbling echoed, as if an invisible force whispered to the tides. And then the waters parted. 2 towering walls of water rose on either side, revealing a dry path through the sea. The people stood frozen in disbelief. Mothers clutched their children tighter. Men exchanged astonished glances. A boy tugged at his mother's sleeve, whispering, "Mother, God has opened the way." Moses lifted his hand, his voice strong and resolute. "Go forward." Thousands surged ahead, running through the heart of the sea as if they had just stepped beyond the boundary between life and death. 3. Arrogance and its price. Meanwhile, Pharaoh and his army stood motionless before the wall of fire. A general cried out, "Pharaoh, this is the power of their God. We cannot chase them." But Pharaoh did not believe. To him, Moses was merely a traitor, and these so-called miracles were nothing more than cheap illusions. His voice was cold and firm. "Advance. I do not believe in the gods of others. We are the army of Egypt, and we fear nothing." The fire began to wane. The Egyptian army wasted no time. They stormed forward onto the path through the sea. But when they reached the middle, something changed. The sky darkened, the wind shifted, and the water roared again. A soldier shouted, "The wheels are stuck. We cannot move." Pharaoh felt unease creeping into his chest. But before he could command a retreat, a deafening roar filled the air. Boom! The colossal walls of water collapsed, swallowing the entire Egyptian army. Screams echoed through the chaos. Chariots were crushed, warriors were consumed, and the mightiest army in the world was erased by the sea. And then silence. No more Pharaoh, no more Egyptian army. Only the whispers of the waves, telling a tale of those who refused to bow before a power greater than themselves. 4. A lesson in faith and arrogance. There are 2 kinds of people in this world: those who trust even when they cannot see the way, and those who are too arrogant to recognize a power greater than themselves. The Israelites had faith, they were saved. Pharaoh had arrogance, he was destroyed. This story is not just an ancient tale. It is a lesson for all of us. When faced with hardships, what will you choose? Will you trust in your ability to overcome, or will you let fear consume you? Think about it. And if this story resonates with you, share it with someone who might need a spark of hope. Because who knows, perhaps you will be the Moses in someone else's life.